Greetings, beautiful souls. This is Bevin Niemann-Cortez, the Soulful Gardener, coming to you on the eve of the solar eclipse in the sign of Aries. Woo! Are we ready? Depending on where you are in the world, it will either fall on the 28th or the 29th of March. The solar eclipse energy is just so incredible in the energy that it is going to be bursting forth into our collective consciousness across our planet in so many ways. And before I got on this call, I wanted to pull just a few cards from the Elementals deck. It's one of my favorites, has this beautiful, like, shiny edge to it. And, you know, a story begins to emerge. Because when we go through a solar eclipse, of course, we have the sun, which is in our galaxy, in our solar system, is the brightest object for us, is literally the giver of life. The sun in an archetypal modality would be more related to being visible, shining our light, being outward and dynamic in the world, taking action, being fiery, having passion. You know, this is kind of the energy of the sun. And what happens during the eclipse is that the sun is here and then the moon passes, right? Passes over and it obscures the light of the sun, our outward personality, our concern with external matters, which is mostly the driving force in most of our life and most of our day-to-day life and most of the things that we're doing. We're being outwardly responsive. We're looking at all the things that need to be done and accomplished and what we need to do for our families to support ourselves and all the things and our friendships and everything that is our external world is now getting eclipsed and temporarily obscured by the divine feminine. Okay, so let's dive into that divine feminine. I want to put these in a different order. I actually pulled these with my masterclass earlier today, and I want to put them in a different order and tell a little bit different story. So here's the divine feminine, the water element, right? And this little tiny text here says connection. The numerology is a 2 and a 9, which makes an 11. It's a master number. And for me, the 11 is a master number of mastery of self, how to be partially submerged in all of this murkiness that we call our current era in history, the things that are happening in the world, the things that are changing and transforming within us individually. This is a lot, you know, and we're up to the solar plexus in it, right? We're up to that point. There's a lot of emotion in the world, a lot of tension, a lot of energy. If you resonate as an empath, you are feeling this shit right now, okay? And this water element is the element of the moon, eclipsing the sun, which is Aries, right? And so you see that the top part from the heart chakra up, our spiritual nature, the intersection between our physical being, our body, this vessel that we've chosen to incarnate into, if you believe such a thing. The lower chakras are survival and emotion and passion and anger and all those denser aspects of what it means to be a human. And then we start to rise and transcend You can see her hair is like blowing up as if there's no gravity, right? We start to lighten and transcend as we become more self-aware. And as we pull our hands up out of that density, out of the water, and just let that just flow off. You can see here, it's just flowing off. And doves swirling around this divine feminine, this intuitive, magnetic, emotionally intelligent aspect of self. And for each of us, there is something that this eclipse will be pulling forward where we need to lift ourselves up out of this water so we can see, so we can look around, so we can dry ourselves off, so we can find some damn peace. We have to do this. We have to balance these two aspects of self. The part of us that wants to hermit away, run away, hide from what's happening, and the part of us that's like, I am going to be a sacred mirror. I'm going to witness this time period. Not just witness, I'm going to participate too, but witnessing is vitally important. And witnessing is hard for us because it feels overwhelming. Sometimes so overwhelming we can't stand it. And, you know, we have to decide how much we can witness and how much we need to immerse ourselves and go under. It's absolutely vital that we divide that time and we only lift out when there's something we really feel is extremely important, and also something where we can bring our gifts and our personal power to bear. So that gets us to this next card, which and I'm like of two minds about it, right? Here we have the West, which is completion, okay? And we have sort of this translucent brain, collective mind floating around in the cosmos. And she's just putting a puzzle piece in there, okay? Just trying to fit the puzzle piece in. So what does this mean? You know, the Western world has been operating in a way for a long period of time, I mean, my whole lifetime, and before that, in a way that was about dominance culture, in a way that was about needing to be number one, needing to be smarter, faster, get to the moon first, do this, do this, do this. Look at us. We win gold medals in the Olympics. Look at us. Okay. And that way of being and that exceptionalism and rugged individualism that anyone who grew up in the United States or around that culture is aware of, or is becoming aware of, I should say. It's vital that whatever piece of this puzzle you are here to do, that you plug that into the collective consciousness, the Akashic records, all that is, whatever you want to call it. You have to pull it down when you get the divine inspiration, when it comes in and you have a knowing. And then you take action. You go steps 1 through 9 to build and build and build. And then it's ready to release. It's ready to release. And put it out there and let it go. I'm done with that chapter. I'm done with that relationship. I'm done with working for that company. I'm done feeling a certain way. I'm done thinking a certain way. Whatever it is that you are done with, you have the exact fit to finish this once and for all. And that is going to bring you a greater stability. Number 4, right? 4 legs of a table, as long as they're all the same length, it's going to level itself out. It's going to be sturdy. You could stand on it. You know, this is what this is about. It's like, there is no stability here. There is no, um, uh, you know, feeling like I've got my shit together. I've got my foundation. A lot of people are feeling very untethered at this moment. And this is true of my clients across the world. But we've got this final little piece that we need to do. And you are going to know what that is at this moment and what you're there to do. And I'm going to know what I'm here to do. And someone else is going to know what they're here to do. And together, all of these points start to bring together, you know, it's like the folds of the cerebellum. It's like we're going to fold and we're going to come together and we're going to share and there's going to be synapses and neurons, and I don't even know what the hell I'm talking about. But you know what I'm saying? You know the vibe that I'm giving here. It's like we're remolding this neuroplastic cosmic mind. And it's difficult. If you've ever had a habit, if you've ever had a mindset that a mindset piece that you tried to shift, you know how many times you have to sort of catch yourself thinking like that and back up and gently, you know, redirect yourself over and over and over until the groove gets worn in and you're like, ah, and now you're just automatically, you know, thinking, feeling, acting, and behaving in a certain way that's natural now for you. And that's really what we're trying to do here is that, you know, we're trying to integrate these two aspects of self. We have mind and we have emotions. Two different intelligences. Well, we have a third one represented here, which I would say is somatic intelligence, you know, body knowledge and body wisdom. But we have these three elements that want to come into balance. And the reason that they do is because we got the card of the biome. Okay? The biome. And you know, it's interesting because I'm really into plants and ecology and nature and all these things. And I didn't really understand the definition of a biome. So the definition of a biome is a group of flora and fauna in a given geographical region that are interdependent upon each other, not only for survival, but for thriving. And the earth herself is a biome, right? Because she has flora and fauna, of which we are a part. And there's an interdependency. We depend on vegetables for food and fruit for food. And, you know, not everyone has depends on animals for food. And that's, you know, it's great and it's your choice. We're a biome. We depend on each other for energy and water resources and assistance when there's a disaster and all different kinds of things. We are an interdependent global community. And there are some on our planet right now who don't want us to understand the truth of this. So you can see there's some darkness here. Most of it is light. Most of it is glowing. Look at Africa. Woo! It is fertile. I mean, just fertile, right? All these beautiful different cultures, monuments, but there's some darkness. Because for selfish ends, there are a group of people who want to control all of this. Us, the planet, everything. And we each have a key, and there are many more of us than there are of them, I should say. And each one of us have that puzzle piece, a key to ensuring that we spread the light and we release this darkness from our planet. This is a split in the timeline, my friends, that is a make or break. Like, there's been many of those throughout human history, right? Make or breaks. As a matter of fact, I heard the other day, when I was on an archaeology site, that they've discovered that at some point in human history, there was only 1,600 humans on the planet. Like, there was a mass extinction. I don't know if that was from the shared story of the Great Flood. I don't know if that was something else, volcanoes, whatever it may have been. But at one point, they can trace almost everyone's DNA to 1,600 ancestors. So first of all, those 1,600 ancestors are extremely powerful entities. They were powerful in human physicality, and they are powerful on the other side. And they are here with us, and they are guiding us, I believe, and I feel. And that means that we are literally brothers and sisters. And this is our family. This is our human family. And this is our home, Mother Earth. And we're going to decide as a family whether we're going to stand up and choose that darker path. Are we going to go down this road? Because you can see this is a minority. It's just a small amount. It's not the totality. It's not the totality. So are we going to go this way where it overtakes? Or are we going to spread this all the way around and become a more enlightened species? And this is the big question, right? The big philosophical question that I would ask, if Star Trek were real and we could have first contact with the Vulcans, the first thing I would ask them is, how did you get past this moment in time? How did your species learn how to have emotional intelligence and emotional control? How did you learn how to work out conflicts in peaceful ways? How did you overcome disease and homelessness and all the things, That's the question I would ask. And even though I can't ask that question, in my soul, I know the answer. And the answer is small steps, small actions, a bunch of small lights shining all over our planet in the same biome. My friends, you and I are in the same biome. We are vibrating in a similar frequency. And we have the opportunity to step in and amplify that frequency on this planet. And the solar eclipse is the opening for that. It's the new beginning after a difficult completion. Can you imagine how many puzzle pieces they were trying to put into this cosmic mind to kind of get it right, to match? I mean, we've been around on these cycles for a very long time. And, I was sharing with my mastermind group earlier that I just feel if we could get enough mass consciousness to even be aware that we're in a biome. If a lot of people are talking about how we're in a biome and what things need to be fundamental human rights, and how there are different ways that we can relate, and how we can heal, and how we can start talking instead of screaming and threatening. If there's enough people doing that in this way and that way, and in this sector and in another sector, amplifying that consciousness, then we can be a unified planet. And we can get past this crossroads. And, I have to hold out hope. I'm usually a skeptic, but I have to hold out hope and a little bit of optimism that we can do it. But we have to step forward. We have to be seen. We have to come out of the shadows. We have to come up from underneath the water and go, here I am. Not to save the day, but to lend whatever we can to this movement. Because it is a spiritual movement. There's a wave form that is rippling out across this planet. And the old way is resisting because it knows that the time is done. That way is no longer the way that the majority of humans want to live or want to believe. And so it's holding on with its last grasp. And if we can hold out for that, I think we can make real progress. And I'd like to see that in my lifetime, but I may not. So I have to just keep setting those foundations, getting those 4 legs, not only stable in my own household, but in my communities, with my clients, in my garden, getting that stability, working on that, leveling everything out, leveling out the mind and the emotions, letting the body tell us a little bit more about what we want to be doing here. And asking for, and then watching the signs that help to illuminate what that puzzle piece is. Because that chapter is done. And it doesn't mean it won't be difficult or scary or dangerous. Change is hard. But we are equipped. We have each other. And we've been working on lots of things like how do I do my own self-care and how do I prevent myself from going into burnout and how do I make choices about who and what I'm aligned with and how do I trust my intuition. Y'all have been working on all of that in preparation for now. And we are not alone. We're not alone. So may your solar eclipse in Aries allow you to complete what needs to be finished and step in like the frickin' fool into what's next. It's time to be foolish. It's time to show ourselves, time to show our quirkiness, our creative side, our intelligence, our perception. It's time to show ourselves. Because the more of us that can step forward in solidarity with each other, shoulder to shoulder, back to back, the more that we can amplify the wave of consciousness. And that's what I'm going to be working on, my friends. So I would love to hear from you. What's coming forward right now? What's on your heart? What's on your mind? What's your body telling you? Listen to the calling of your soul. We've got this together. Namaste. Happy eclipse.